we're going to come back. We have this extraordinary soprano who was so bold yesterday to start everything off with us in the most daunting thing, and now we get to come back to this glorious shimmering voice. Should we start with the Caro nome? You want to go to Bellini?
Sure.
Caro nome! And let's just start working.
Yeah.
Yeah, buffet. Oh, I love it. Now, don't think for 1 minute, because this is Gilda, and it's an aria that we all know how it goes, right? Do not be mistaken that you cannot also do the exact same thing that Key just did, okay? Because that's the genius of Verdi. It's the music, it's the thrill, it's the vulnerability, it's the purity, and it's the total assurity that Gilda has about the power of love, right? And if that's where this comes from, it's the same heart connection, you know? Yeah, let's try. So left hand, voix, and think about subdividing already and all of that good stuff. Just to remind ourselves from this morning. Caro nots met ta. Just go back into that. Remind your body.
Caro nots met caels miots cor vesti brits mot palpits ta.
goosebumps.
Oh, do I?
Yeah, I love that. You gave yourself goosebumps. Yeah. Okay, wait. Yeah. Okay, because this is so good. The only problem when we get that you handle all this, so then fin l'ultimo sospir. I started to see opera singer. I started to see presentation. Did you guys start to get that? A little bit that. And this is the total passion of a woman boiling up, but she doesn't know what it is. It's never happened to her before. It's so real and it's so here. It's not. No. I'm kidding. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The difference. Fine. We've seen that a billion times. Discover, what is that? It's for me, it's questioning. It kind of hurts, but I like it. Cherubino. And you examine it again. I mean, the chromatics. That's not. It's. I'm scared. I don't know. Dad, I can't ask him. I just, So let that become more real.
Okay.
Because what's happening in the presentation of this, you start in one spot, beautiful spot, and I don't see change. Yes. The obvious spot. You start in the obvious place. But I don't see as much discovery and what is happening. And I will go to the end of the earth for him. I will. I don't care if I have to die. It's much more that than that. I do need to say the singing is like exquisite and divine and amazing and shimmery and all of those things. But don't let that be enough.
Yeah.
Okay? Where's a good, can we go, I just wonder if you can, don't cut it. If you can, what's the image? It still continues. Try not to cut it, and that will be like, twist the light bulb out. Yeah? Is that a good place for you to start?
Yeah.
Okay. And then just see if it, don't present it to us, live it. Live it. See what that is, okay? But you have to twist off of it. I love that it's a little bit, that kind of thing. And this is one thought. You can breathe, but don't make it two phrases. Okay? Okay. Okay, now, but why? Why do you continue? Because that F is not enough. I need more. And then drink it and savor it. So much about this aria is you're so excited, but you don't want the moment to end. So excited, but calm down, Gilda. But I don't want it to end. So so surprise yourself with where it's going. You don't know where it's going, and you lunging up to the A is a surprise, but it's what your heart needs to do. Yeah? Do this one more time. Okay, we liked the désir, right? Yeah. I want to say one thing. I keep talking about Emily D'Angelo. Okay, she's just a spectacular Agno. And what I'm seeing show by show, she's 24, we've established that. What I'm seeing, an extraordinary artist already, what I'm seeing show by show is she's gaining confidence and she's taking more risk in real time. And that is so cool to see because she's daring and she's not feeling secure. I mean, I don't know, I don't mean to speak for her, but It's not feeling secure, but so excited to take the leap. Sometimes it will work, sometimes it won't. That's a risk that is so worth the payoff, you know? Because it's also, vocally it's seductive and showing off and it's beautiful, and we'd have to pepper our operatic performances with that, you know? I mean, that's part of the game a little bit. But also, as Gilda, you're getting going like, "Col pensier il mio de." What's that? Yeah. Oh God, but I shouldn't. I know it's wrong, but right? So dare. Do I dare? Yeah, I have to. Okay, col pensiero, one more time.
Col pensier il mio desir, ad sempre volerà.
Go in. So close. Listen to what happens. From here. Caro nome tuo. So predictable. We know exactly what's coming. That C sharp should take you by total surprise. Like, do I dare? Do it again. And the first time you comprehend, you've been saying désir, 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 and now it's désir. You know, I mean, you have to coordinate this vocally so I get excited, you know, but find the way. Don't do this, slow down. Take us and yourself by total surprise with that C sharp.
Okay.
Launch for it, and then dare to come down to and then you're in his arms. Okay? So let's go. Okay? In his arms. Okay, do you hear how you've become a woman then?
Yeah.
In that music right there. That's, I'm no longer the same girl. Okay? Yeah? It's not désir, it's Sarah, sorry. Il mio desirate, it's a new world. You feel how more mature that is? Like in the blink of an eye. So let it come into your own of, I'm going to love him with all that I am. Not like, you know, but you've changed. You're no longer the same at the beginning. In his arms. Open. Choose this. the painter, ladies and gentlemen. Alex the painter. Brava. Wow. Fantastic. Where do you want to sing it? The world is your oyster. Yeah. I think we might have time for questions. I'm checking my time. Beautiful. Alex, thank you. It's just,
Thank you.
And you see, it's as, when you open like that, what that does is it puts us back in that time of innocence and that time of possibility and the time we believed in true love, you know? So don't ever come and say, oh, this is Caro nome. You know, we all know how it goes. Make us discover it. Not by imposing things on it, but by being it. And not taking one chromatic or rest or crescendo or accent for granted, you know? This has been so much fun today. I don't even know what to say. It's like I feel like we've lived 4 lives. Congratulations, you guys. It's, again, so brave and so open and in the end, so much beauty. We don't get to say that every day of our lives, right? So much beauty. Thank you. Are there any questions for myself or about teaching or anything? We may have some from the web. Yes, we do have a microphone here in the middle. Why don't you come line up? And Claudia, do you want to start from the hashtag Ask Choice? And we'll get your questions here if you want.
So to start us off, this is from the Facebook live stream. Shaden would like to know, and I would like to know also, what advice do you have for singers over 30? Is it true that after 30 one should give up because you're too old?
Better not be. I had a really good friend of mine tell me early on when I was struggling, I was 29 leaving the Houston Opera Studio and I couldn't find management. And he said, you're either famous before you're 30 or after you're 30. I mean, I don't know that everybody's guaranteed fame, but certainly in the opera world, there's just, you guys are witnessing here, there's so many building blocks that have to be laid and then torn apart and relaid in a new configuration and then torn down and built back up a couple different times because I think I've said this before, you know, we have to master our instrument, the human body. We have to master it. We have to master many languages. We have to become a master musician. We have to master the stage. And we have to master the human condition. Just those things. So, I mean, if you have all of that figured out by the time you're 30, become my guru, please, you know? There's so much to figure out. Much of this, but then we have the reality of 2019, where things are immediate. We want the next star. If you're not 24 with a press agent and a website and at the highest Young Artist program, give it up, honey, or too late, you know. I'm not a fan of that. I think there's a lot of excitement with young voices that are beautiful, but there's a lot of excitement with artists in their 30s and 40s and 50s and 60s who have lived and have a whole lot to say on the stage. And opera gives us that platform to do that. You know, we're asking you to like heal our hearts and help us look at the biggest conflicts civilization have ever entered. So you got to have some life experience as well, which is we talk about not just listening to opera and living in our studio. We have to get out and be alive. So you have to be a very savvy business person and take a lay of the land, see where you stack up objectively and without, you know, wanting to run to the Amazon and quit everything. You have to be objective about it, just like business owners are. But at the same time, you have to say, what do I have to say? And maybe I'm not going to get to say it on, you know, at La Scala, but maybe I'm going to start something here and I'm going to say it this way. You might have to build something of your own. Lucky you, in 2019, the world is your oyster in terms of innovation, you know, with everything that's happening. You can get your message out now around the world. You have to be really objective about what your deficiencies might be, what your shortcomings might be. We talked about this morning. Objectively and without emotion, take stock of what you do well and what you don't do well, and where's your energy best served going in which direction. And this is something you navigate all throughout your career and your life. Also, singers above 30, are you a soubrette? Are you a Helden tenor? Are you a character mezzo? Are you somebody who aspires to sing in a nightclub? You know, you have to just take the lay of the land. I met somebody recently at the stage door of the Met, and she had sung in choir, got out of singing, went on about her life, but she just joined a choir again. And she said, finally, I remember what it is to be like alive and free, you know? And boy, I'm a fan of that. So it may not look the way you imagined it would look. Maybe it will. You know, go out there and try. I mean, key not to drive home what you're doing, but, you know, you work at the front desk of the Comfort Suites of the Lexington, Kentucky thing, and you're like, but I want to sing, and I'm going to send in my video. And now he's here. Not guaranteed. What happens to you tomorrow? I don't know. None of us can know. But I have a feeling he's glad he went for it. But I'll guarantee you also, there's no guarantee Tuesday night at the Met I'm healthy and in great shape to sing Sesto, or I don't make a wrong note or something. There's no guarantee in any of this. That's the thrill of it. We still take the leap. Yeah, it's cool. Hello.
Hi, I'm really happy to see that you include singers from so many different backgrounds in this series of masterclasses. You being a singer performing both early Baroque repertoire and later romantic repertoire, do you have any advice for larger voices, singers who are devoted in early music, for how to sing freely and in style in early repertoire? Singers of larger voices are often advised to maybe choose later repertoire, but singers who lived in the Baroque area couldn't choose that for themselves. They lived singers of all sizes. So this is a question of the balance of being oneself and to adjusting to the ideals.
Ah, that's so good. You know, in truth, I don't have any expertise about that, even though my voice is quite huge. I refer to it as acoustic. It's okay, it's okay. I don't know that firsthand, and I haven't worked a lot with the big voice. Some people, you know, if it was me, I would say everybody should sing Mozart. Everybody should sing Handel. But there are people that would say, actually, no, that would do damage to me. I don't understand the mechanics of that. I know there's opinions on both sides. But I really, personally, I wouldn't say one thing or the other. I love that what you say is that, of course, back in the day, you know, and also they sang everything. I mean, we go to Callas, and she was singing Carmen, and she was singing Norma, and Medea, and Rosina. You know, I think the best thing I can say, and we talked about this again this morning, there's an inherent reliance on the outside world that we singers have. Partly because the sound doesn't belong to us. We don't know what we sound like, and we need objective feedback to keep us in the right lane. So we have to remit some sort of power to our teacher, a conductor, the people that we learn to trust that are helping us. But at the same time, it's sort of taught into us, oh, no, listen to your manager. No, listen to your voice teacher. Listen to the casting committee. You're a Marcellina. You are this. Oh, okay. And we diffuse all of our power to all the opinions outside of us, okay? Sometimes that's super helpful. Sometimes it's destructive, right? And this is another thing, we have to master the business world. We have to become really savvy by knowing ourselves objectively, without the ego, without the opinions, without the drama, objectively, is this criticism true? And I think, I mean, I'm still working on this myself, but I think the guideline is always, is this easy? Is my voice free? Or, Maria Stuarda, am I at the edge? Yeah, but I'm there consciously and I want to be there. And I'll come back. Like the next show I do is going to be Ariodante or something like that. But I want to go there and I want to spread my wings. And I have certain things to bring to it. But I don't want to go further than that, you know? And so I have opinions. People have asked me to sing Norma. They've asked me to sing Infidelio. There are a lot of opinions. And I say, oh, think about it. I never say no right away. Let me think about that. Let me investigate that. But the decision is mine. And if it wrecks my voice, it's my decision. I don't want to give that power away to the teacher, the coach, the conductor, the general director. It's my responsibility. But the key is I want to make sure it's a really objective, educated decision that I make. So I can't say big voices should sing Mozart. Maybe one yes, maybe one no. Maybe him yes, her no. I don't know. But the singer has to be responsible for what direction they go in. Yeah. Thank you. It's a good question. Hello.
Wonderful. Just wonder if you have advice for the process of recovering from a performance that's anywhere from unsatisfactory to disastrous.
Well, that's never happened to me. I don't know. Ha, ha, ha. Yeah. This is another thing we spoke about this morning. Once you have your sea legs, like once you're standing as a singer and a performer, and let's say you're at a good conservatory, you know, you're doing these kind of master classes. There's a certain assumption that your technique is well on its way and pretty secure. I mean, that's just fundamental. And then it becomes so not a factor. You have to constantly work at it every day, every couple days, you know, that disciplined, surgical technique, and then the rest of the game, which is probably about 90%, is mental. Period. And I think, well, no, I mean, I remember this in college. I remember observing things, you know, and I was singing Kate Pinkerton, and how you handle nerves, how you get yourself out on that stage, all of that, it's a mental game. And there's techniques about this. There are techniques. It's not just this arbitrary, I don't know, I'm nervous, what do I do? And I didn't sing well, and I don't know what to do. And then you're just like this, one of those things at car sales that just flop in the wind, you know? Again, I don't like giving my power away and being lost in the wind like that. So I do a lot of study about where my head is. I do a lot of study about how I think. And I do a lot of practice about clearing my headspace, finding out where tension is in my body, figuring out what my head is doing when I'm singing. Which also translates nicely, usually, into life, you know? And that's ultimately the more important thing. I want to say that. You wouldn't have known it to look at me, but I had a terrible major concert in this building at Stern Hall about 7 years ago. And it was a Sunday afternoon, and I was singing Scena di Berenice, and I was feeling pretty good. I I'd been busy, so I was a little tired, but vocally I had been feeling good, at least I thought I did. And in the first 3 measures of this 2-hour recital, me and a piano, Stern Hall, Carnegie Hall, there's Ella Fitzgerald and the Beatles and me. And I felt like a blood pressure cuff was tightening around my neck. Here. I don't normally feel stuff in my throat when I sing. To this day, I mean, I kind of have figured out what it was, but at the moment I didn't know what was happening. And there was nowhere to hide. Did I mention it was Carnegie Hall? Is that up? And it was pretty full. And it was survival, okay? It was just survival. I'm still not sure what I did to get through it, but I phonated it, and I don't think the audience really knew. I had a 10:30 rehearsal the next day on the stage of the Met for Contori. I think it was piano. I don't think it was orchestra. But I knew as I was going through that concert, navigating and surviving, I was already saying to myself, Joyce, tomorrow you're going to show up at rehearsal and you're going to get back on the horse. And I was already navigating the mental language in my head, which I think was a kind of technique about, I don't know, positive thinking. I don't know what you think. But I was already, you're not going to go down that rabbit hole mentally. You're not going to go down that rabbit hole. You're going to figure this out. You will figure, maybe not right now, but you will figure this out, but you're going to be back on stage at 10:30 the next morning, blah, 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 blah. And I talked to a friend of mine, and I did that stage rehearsal. It was okay, wasn't free and easy. And at 6 o'clock that afternoon, I was in the studio of a breath teacher saying, I need help. And I wasn't like, I don't know what's going to happen. Is my career over? And I was like, so this is what happened yesterday, and something's not lined up. Can we identify it? Can we figure this out? No emotion. Of course, I was scared. I mean, I'm sure I cried later that night. And of course, I was petrified, and all those questions come in. But the minute those questions are coming in, I say, not right now, because that's not going to solve this situation. So it's a discipline. And it's awareness, it's all that kind of stuff, but it's a discipline to really sit there and not give away my power, and to trust that no matter what, I'll figure my way through. I don't know where it will lead me necessarily, but I'll figure that out, basically. I think that's 6 o'clock. I think we're there. I just want to say a big thank you to all of you guys who are watching. I hope the students in South Korea are having a fabulous time, and everywhere where you guys are. We're back here tomorrow at 4 o'clock. I don't know how it goes so quickly, but day 3, I'm sure it's going to be something new tomorrow with these amazing singers, our fantastic pianists, Shannon and Justina, and our 4 singers. Beautiful guys, beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you, guys.